start of the game, we allowed a very good team to play like a great team. And because our players came out playing like they'd seen a ghost. And you cannot come out and not have a physical presence right off the bat. You can't come out and give that kind of space to a team that's as good as Michigan. And then just the crazy thing was how we turned the ball over early on. And we weren't a physical team in our screening. We weren't a smart team with our passing. We weren't a physical team, an aggressive team in our defense. And Michigan made us pay. But at the bottom line, we knew we knew we were going to be in position to come back if we could just settle in. And again, it wasn't the offense as much as it was the defense. So I'm proud of the way that we did come back. I'm proud of the players that did. Our starting lineup was a joke, and so that's why we didn't play that lineup much longer after the initial start of the game. And we just got to continue to get better. And as I told them, I'm looking for guys right now in February. They're just playing with the warrior spirit. I mean, you just have to have it. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're home or on the road. You've got to come out and you've got to play with a toughness, with an intelligence. And we didn't do that as much. We didn't do that early on. We did it as the game went on. We came almost all the way back. But when you're playing against a team like Michigan that's as good as they are, you can't spot them that kind of lead. You have to play extremely well to come all the way back. And even though we were close, it wasn't enough. And I'm disappointed in our first 12 minutes or so without knowing exactly, looking at the book, exactly what the minutes were at that point. Proud of how we continue to improve, but it's not good enough. And that's what we've got to continue to improve upon. But they're a really good team, and they're one of many very good teams in this league. And they showed it tonight. I just wish we'd have done a better job to start.
When you fall behind early like that in the first couple of minutes, what is the thought process between either waiting for the first media timeout or calling a timeout to get their attention?
It was all us. It wasn't anything that a timeout was going to correct in that sense in the first couple of minutes of the game. It's going down and doing what we practiced. And you want to give your guys a chance to get in the flow of the game. But again, they weren't doing anything different. If they're running something different that now we haven't covered and we can't cover, well, now you call that. It's just a matter of playing. Playing the game. And if you're going to come back inside of the game, then you've got to make sure that you've got some timeouts at the end. And I wasn't that concerned about what they were doing. I was more concerned about what we were doing. And outside of mass substituting, we needed to play through it a little bit and get our toughness going.
What was your game plan on Trey Burke?
We may play them again. So whatever we wanted to do on Trey Burke is probably not anything that I'd want to discuss right now.
Why do you think the starters had such a problem?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it's the same guys that started out great the other day against Iowa. I mean, it's human beings, young ones. So I'm not going to make an excuse for them. It just wasn't good tonight, but it was outstanding the other day. And it's the frailties of young people. But I mean, it wasn't like that mattered much longer. I mean, we just went with the guys that were going to give us the opportunity. And those are the guys that continue to put us back in the game. And we got it, what, to 2 or 3? Two. Yeah, so whatever. Yeah. So I mean, long game, and there's no panic on the sideline with me or the other coaches or anybody like that. And we had some of the players that started to step up. We need more leadership at the start of the game when we go on the road. And I'm sure every coach could say that, especially the ones that get beat in this league. There's always things that you wish you could do over, but you don't mind losing the game if you really came out and fought and they beat you. And they played excellent. But like I said, we took a very good Michigan team and allowed them to play great early on.
It seemed like one of those guys who stepped up was Remy Abel, who played 17 minutes after not playing a whole lot. What did you see from him today?
He did an excellent job. He's a fearless guy. He's an excellent athlete. And he's like Matt Roth with the shooting. Matt is going to be able to make shots wherever he goes. Didn't make them tonight, but he's going to be able to make them wherever he goes. I think Remy can play in any environment. I mean, he's got that kind of talent. He'll play more. There's no doubt about that.
You talked about defense getting you back into it, but I mean,
I'll get to that in a second.
You talked about defense getting you back into it. What was different defensively after that 28-8?
We stayed in front of the ball, for one thing. We were over-helping big time. And that's what they want you to do. Michigan wants to be in a two-man game constantly. They want to be in a middle pick-and-roll game and have you help on those guys so they can kick it out to shooters. They want to be in the side pick-and-roll. They do an excellent job. And he never puts a player out there that can't impact the game. Jordan Morgan may not be a great shooter or a great foul shooter, but he's an excellent player because of his energy, because of his screening, because of his rolling and the pick and roll, because of his running. And those things are all factors. And but we didn't have enough movement on offense. We were very standstill in our cutting game, because one thing Cody can do is he can pass. I mean, he can do a lot of things, but he can pass. And we were very, they were converging to the ball, and we weren't cutting and making people play. We just weren't playing the way that we had practiced. And I'm disappointed in that. Who had the Verdell question? Verdell has got a bruised shoulder right now, and we'll evaluate it even more tomorrow. That's where he stands.
At this point, playing on the road in conference, in your eyes, what is it about the offense that makes it play like this on the road, but as well as it?
I don't know. I don't know. I think you could look at us like a lot of teams, and there's not a whole bunch of teams around the country that are sitting like we're sitting, that have tremendous road records inside the league, that are in the greatest league as this. And that's not an excuse, it's just the way that it is. The margin for error is really small on the road. And you've got to have excellent activity. And we couldn't even really get into our game plan offensively because we weren't taking advantage of what we felt we should have been doing at the very beginning. We had to get some movement. And so we couldn't get into any matchups or anything that we really would have liked. But it's just a matter of... I think players a lot of times around the country, maybe it's even the same at the next level, they believe their offense is always going to get their defense going. It's rarely like that. Your defense and your rebounding and the hustle game are what's going to be, for the most part, to get your offense going, unless you have a real special skill as a shooter, or you've got a certain thing that you can really bank on most of the time, that no matter what defense comes, you're going to be able to do it. Well, that's not reality. Most guys don't have that. So you've got to have movement, you've got to have activity, and you can't just have it on one end. We were not aggressive enough on defense, and we were over-helping. Now, we curbed that. We stopped it. That's why the game got close. We were able to get into the way we wanted to play. And it was, for a lot of time there, it was an excellent game. But, as coaches, you're always going to focus on the negatives. I mean, there were some, I'm sure we'll find some positives in that tape. We had some guys step up like warriors. As the game went on, we just didn't have enough at the beginning.
Tom, as difficult as it is to win on the road in this conference, do guys learn anything that can help them at Purdue?
Well, I hope so. But I'm not real interested right now in motivation. I'm interested in playing the guys that absolutely come in there and that are fearless. And I think that's what February is about. I think you get your team to a point at this time of year now. You don't work guys into games, you don't work guys through games. You don't massage them through. I mean, you go. And that's what we had to do tonight. And fortunately, some guys that didn't play well early stepped up. Verdell couldn't go back in. I was really hoping that he would have had an opportunity to go back in and play, because he started to play better at the half. Or as we got closer to halftime. But, yeah, I hope so. I'm glad we have a short week. I really am. I'm glad we don't sit around for a week and wait to play again.
I guess, if I could ask the question, I mean, who did step up as a warrior in your mind, I guess, when you look at the list?
Well, I just think Victor did an excellent job. I don't think there's any question about that. Remy's already been mentioned. Derek Elston did a good job. I thought Cody was good and continued to get better. Was really good on the glass. And Jordan had a very good game. So we didn't go deep into the bench in the second half. It's not about that this time of year. You do everything you can do to win the game. And we got very close. But it wasn't close enough in the last minute and a half, minute 50, whatever it was at the end.
You cut the lead to 2. Hardaway gets the 3 from the corner, but then they get that big offensive rebound before Douglas. I mean, that just is a theme.
Last couple games it is.
Yeah.
Okay, but we've also gotten some of those boards. When we beat Ohio State, and I know it's a what have you done for me lately world and league and game, but we're capable. There's no doubt about that. We're capable of getting them. And I'll have to watch that to see if we missed a block out or something like that. Against Wisconsin, we missed a 50-50 ball. We got thrown on one, and the other one we just didn't block out as well. I mean, so I'll look at that. And at that point, you don't want to have to rely on the end of the game to win a game on the road, just like you don't at home. It's just magnified more on the road. I mean, it really is. And it was a physical game. And once we figured out that we needed to be physical too, we played a lot better.
Thanks.
Thanks.